Hey guys, welcome back. So after my last video where I shared my diagnosis and the results, I said I would come back and I would talk about my doctor's response and the protocol and what we're doing. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to get through it pretty quick. I'm going to make other videos with supplements and detoxing, but as I've said before on my channel, I really do like to try things out, for enough time to where I know what I'm recommending. So there are things I'm currently trying, I've ordered, that I'm going to be mixing into my routine. So those are things I plan to discuss. So today is mainly about my doctor's response and kind of what we're doing initially. Basically what I shared in my last video, just recap for anyone that's not seen it so I can kind of catch you up. My blood results showed a few things going on. Mold toxicity, it was Ochratoxin A was the type of mold that was found through urinalysis. I did test positive for Lyme. Not all 5 bars, so there is that. Candida, EBV, and the Mthfr gene mutation, I did test positive. I think there's like 3 types or different mutations. I have the more severe type, so I believe it was 3 panels of accuracy. So that kind of is everything. There's really high histamine levels, homocysteine, so there's some stuff going on, B12 deficient, folate deficient, so that kind of catches us up. I shared, the findings result-wise, and today I am here to talk about his response and kind of, where we're going from here, and then things we may do in the future. So basically his response to everything was, everything for him is surrounding the gene mutation. So the Mthfr gene mutation. Like I said, I do have the kind of worst case of that mutation. Layman's terms, my body does not detox on its own, and it has a really hard time absorbing B12, folate, B6, different vitamins, nutrients, minerals. So those essentially with that mutation, you have to take, methylated vitamins, you have to watch your diet, you have to be very particular about chemicals, things you're in contact with, your diet, food you're eating. It's almost like treating yourself like you're hypersensitive kind of to the world, which now I do, but of course in my past and growing up I did not do, because I was unaware of the mutation. So that was kind of for him where he said, wow, okay, like everything after looking at these results is now making sense and adding up, why you reacted the way you did to implants, why this, why that, why you're inflamed, why your body is rejecting food, why your levels are so low for vitamins. It just started adding up to him, and also why mold was a factor for me, because as we know, a lot of people can have exposure to mold, but they won't necessarily be affected by it, if that makes sense. So, person A could be in the same environment as me, person B, they may have no reaction. So, that was kind of his main point. He did say with Lyme, he was like, it could be there, it could be a past infection, it could not be there, it could be all 3. He recommended doing IGeneX testing. So I did the Western blot. I did it for Lyme in 2016 and it was negative. This time it was showing positives. So with that, the hygienics testing is a little more invasive. The Western blot and testing here in the States is not the best. I believe it only diagnoses about 35–40% of Lyme positive patients accurately. So he was kind of saying, you know, next step could be hygienics. I believe it's about $1,500 out of pocket. So for me, I kind of said, you know, like, I just want to get going and kind of put my money and my efforts into detoxing, feeling better. I don't want to ignore Lyme, of course, but for me, you know, he agreed, let's eradicate the mold first. Let's open up your detox pathways. Let's get you moving. Because he said if I even give you a Lyme protocol right now, it's just gonna make you sick, like really sick, because you would have die-off, you would have things going on that have nowhere to go. So we are kind of in agreement about that. Mold, he said, it's not low, it's not high, kind of in the middle. With mold, because it's done by urinalysis, it's kind of what your body is excreting. It's not really saying here's everything in your body, or if it's colonized. You know, mold can colonize in your nasal passages and in your gut. So, you know, I don't know, but he's kind of saying it's middle of the road. So with that, I am doing the cholestyramine, which honestly, I'm on 1 packet a day, and I'm trying to work up to 2. But I ordered a sauna, and I'm waiting for that to come in, because I don't want to, like, you know, kill everything in me and have it have nowhere to go. So that I'm tolerating fine. You know, I'm not reacting to it. So doing that for the mold, and then I also am doing a nasal spray. I'll link everything below, but that one's in case of Marcons. That could be the colonization in the nose. Very hard to get rid of, but for me, I'm just trying to cover all my bases. My reaction to everything is very neurological. So, you know, I've always had kind of like ENT type problems. So for me, it's just that extra step, you know, where it's not gonna hurt me, but I just want to make sure that I'm not like missing a mark or missing an area. So he was fine with me adding that in. Along with that, I buy that from the same company that I get the mold cleaning spray, the candles, and the laundry additive. So those are all things I will link below. With the mold, I'm trying to obviously clean everything to a mold, you know, standard. With the spray, washing things with the laundry additive, and just, you know, getting rid of stuff, being very sterile, if that makes sense. So doing all that, and a low mold Fodmap diet. So that kind of brings me into histamines and food. So he did recommend a low mold, low carb Fodmap diet, which I've been doing. It's fine. I am struggling a little bit with eating enough food, because I'm having a hard time finding food that kind of fits in that category. I'm very picky about, you know, meat and fish. Like, I do eat both. I just don't love it. So anyways, that's kind of a journey, but so I'm doing that. With that, I am on probiotics, digestive enzymes. I take digestive bitters before I eat. So I'm doing a lot to repair the gut, and kind of aid in my reaction to eating. So I'm doing that. My histamine levels were, I believe, an 18.9. He said I like them around like an 8 or a 9. So I'm pretty much, you know, I need to get those down. Inflammation has been a huge thing. for me, ever since my implants went in, I was visibly inflamed. I still am very puffy. I believe, and he believes, my doctor, that there is a lot of inflammation in my brain, which is causing a lot of my, brain fog, dizziness, disorientation, disequilibrium, all of these feelings. So that's kind of good to know that I can hopefully take that down. For brain inflammation, I'm on curcumin twice a day. And like I said, I'll put a complete list below. So I'm on that. I'm not reacting badly to anything I'm on, so my body seems pretty accepting of treatment and agreeable to everything. I've definitely learned through all this to listen to my body, which sounds just so basic and like duh, but I mean, I think people don't think about that enough. Like, my body essentially has been screaming at me for years, and I didn't know what was going on. I saw specialists and doctors, and it's not like I didn't try, but I kept hitting dead ends. So now I have more of a philosophy of listening to myself, and your body will kind of tell you what it's needing. So I'm agreeing with everything. I'm still on glutathione. I'm on the lipospheric vitamin C. I'm on all methylated vitamins, which has to do with the gene mutation. So everything is good. I am still on birth control. I want to go off it. I am scared a little bit because I went off it once and it just I don't know, I reacted kind of poorly in the way of mood swings and highs and lows, and for me, I'm already going through enough where I'm just scared of that. So it's something I'm definitely wanting to go off, of course, but with that, he said, you can be on it, but he recommended cod liver oil, so I'm taking that once a day, and that's going well. So that was basically that. He still has me on grapefruit seed extract for Candida, which he said, kind of goes hand in hand with what's going on, so I'm on that. I'm very reactive to food, like I said, so I really try to keep low sugar, low carbs. I do eat carbs, but keep them low, because those things like the bacteria, toxins, mold, it feeds off that. I switched over to alkaline water. There's other types of water I really want to get into, but the filtration systems are pretty pricey. They're like $5,000 and upwards. So I'm doing what I can now because obviously majority of my treatment is out of pocket. I don't live in a state where naturopathic medicine is covered by insurance, so yeah, I'm just trying to keep costs, where it needs to be right now. So I am drinking the alkaline water by Flow, so I'm drinking that. I have not had tap water in maybe a week or 10 days. There's different opinions on that, but it seems to be going well. How I'm feeling, I've only been on this protocol roughly 10 days, give or take. I mean, there's no overnight, oh my gosh, wow, but there's little moments. My energy is up, healing is up and down every day. I'm not yay, but there are days where basic things like standing in the shower, is becoming a little more possible or easy for me. Walking a little faster, just tiny tweaks, and I will take it. So he did say kind of 3 to 6 months for feeling better. But this type of thing is very long term to correct. It may be 6 months, let's say, to get to a place where I'm wow, okay, I'm feeling better, I'm on the right track. but you keep doing this, whether it's a year or 2 years. A way to cut this time down, and again, I have not done it myself, but from what I've been told, and my doctor was in agreement, things like the sauna, infrared sauna to increase sweating, and then also coffee enemas, which I've had to wrap my head around. But a lot of these women that I've healed, they do them once a week, twice a week, you know, once a day, and they swear by it. So if you look into it, I'll probably do a video on it in the future, because I do like to try things before I really, you know, amp them up. But yeah, I'll probably do a video on it. But if you research it, flushes the liver, increases glutathione production. It's supposed to be a huge, you know, help with detoxing and getting things out of you. So, you know, for me, at this point, I am willing to try anything. So, those were 2 things recommended to me to kind of help and speed this up. Sweating and using the restroom are your 2 number 1 ways to get rid of toxins. I'm not a big sweater, I never have been, which is why I opted for the sauna. I just don't sweat. Like, even if I go to the gym, it's like not much. So I did that for that reason. But I plan to do more of these more often. That way I can kind of monitor my healing, you know, whatever, and I can also share as I'm doing things for more than a week, kind of what's really working, what's like so. And you know, it's like a lot of learning. All I do outside of work is research, is what it feels like. I viewed like my ideal doctor as like a partner, like we're a partnership, because you only, like, the doctor is only gonna see me, you know, what, like an hour, like every few months. I mean, they're not seeing my day-to-day life and the changes. So it's kind of up to me to also learn and be aware and research, and that's what I love about my doctor now. He listens to me. It's like a conversation more than like a dictation or a direction, you know, or being told what to do. So I like that. One thing I can recommend, this book, I will link it below. Very helpful. I've only read 2 chapters, I'm not gonna lie. But the cool thing about this book, it was designed for patients and practitioners, so you can kind of pick the chapters that might be relevant to you. It just kind of breaks stuff down and explains it, so I recommend that if you're just kind of on this journey and realizing you have mold or you have Lyme or, you know, whatever it is. So I did also want to throw in, I asked him if that type can be found in implants, because like I've said, I never saw my saline implants that were in me for like 9 years. And he said yes. So I have no way of knowing, obviously, and I can assume, I don't know. But it was interesting because I do know a few other people that had breast implants, got sick like me, and they tested positive for the exact same type of mold. So I don't know. I just figured I would throw that out there. But so even if you're just, you know, a BII patient, got your implants out, maybe your recovery isn't going as well as you had hoped. I was one of those. You could be a slow healer, so don't freak out, but I think it's good to know that there are like other avenues with this, you know, whether it be a gene mutation or mold exposure or something. So just other things to look into that I wish I kind of realized, you know, because I explanted over 2 years ago. And in a lot of ways there was improvement, but in a lot I like hit a wall again. So good to know. But yes, so from here on out, I'm going to stay on this protocol, add a few things in, and then I'll link everything below. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm on Instagram. I always encourage everyone to email, DM, comment, whatever you're comfortable with. I am very open about my journey, my experience. So if anyone has like more questions on what I share on here, feel free to reach out, and I think that's it. So I will see you guys next time.